Hey guys, how we doing? This is Jim with Styrene Monkey. Well, this is the final reveal of the 2007 Ford Shelby GT500. Had a few mishaps with it, but all in all, it's a pretty good kit, like most Revell kits are. I'll explain as I go along, so let's go ahead and show you what we came up with here. Let me pull this a little closer so we can see it. And we'll pitch it down a little bit here so you can get a better view. Well, this kit I've had for a little while, and I was looking for the right paint scheme to paint it. And we found out that Splash Paints at Acme had some colors there, but they didn't have it in stock when I went to the show. And I was looking for this Twister Orange that they carried. Let me tell you, one thing about Splash Paints, they're very good paint. You pour this right out of the bottle into the gun. But let me inform you that you're going to need some kind of respirator apparatus, like a mask or a spray booth or some fans and with the garage door open or what have you. This paint's pretty strong. This is pretty heavy duty stuff. And you need to take care of yourself when you spray this. It's not the safest paint to use for your lungs or any actual paint, really. But this stuff is pretty strong. This is automotive lacquer, and but it is a great product. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, we went ahead and purchased the Twister Orange from Splash. And one thing you can see, they look like the hood's a different color by the camera, but it's not. Believe me, it's just the lighting in here. It is all the same color. It's just the way the light's hitting this. And, well, the first mishap we had, well, let's just start with this. We went ahead and started painting the body first. That was the very first thing I did was go ahead and start working on this body. Get that all done because I was excited about the racing stripes on this, that I found some aftermarket decals by Plymouth in Japan, and they did have some that were black, and I was excited about getting them because I won't have to sit here and use the kit pinstriping, which comes in blue, like a royal blue, and white. That wasn't, maybe white would have gone with this, but most of the white decals ghost, the paint goes through it, so I didn't want to use that. And as I noticed, as I started cutting the decals out for this car, the vent on this diagram is one complete air intake. The one on the car has two separate air intakes. And then I noticed this is for a 2010 and 2013 GT500. This isn't going to work on this car, folks. This is a 2007. So, it wasn't a total waste. The one thing I was able to use was the GT500 stripe down here below. I was able to use that. It was a little bit longer for some reason. Went ahead and trimmed it off in the door jambs. Did get that to fit. Did go on there nicely. Had to use some Mark Fit by Tamiya to get it to lay down nice and snug. But yeah, I do have a 2010 Mustang kit, so these will not go to waste. So I'll probably have to buy another sheet to use to get the lower stripes down here. But these are about $8, so not a total loss. That was one of the mishaps I had with this, but after noticing that wasn't going to work, we went ahead and got the old Tamiya tape. Got out the X-Acto knife, got a flex ruler, and a nice sharp pencil. And we started marking off the center point of this car. And I went ahead and measured the width of the racing stripes off the decal sheets and did all this by hand. I had to stripe this whole thing by hand. And the one pain in the neck was this front air dam here, the grill and all that. was really difficult to get that to line up because there's all different angles and such to get those stripes straight. And it took me about a week to get this on and off to get it to where it needed to be. And went ahead and loaded up this airbrush gun with Tamiya semi-gloss black and laid down the paint on that. And after having the decal down below there and the pinstriping done, we went ahead and hit it with some Tamiya clear. I really got to stress that the Tamiya clear is a great paint. I mean, I've used the 2K or whatever we call ultra gloss, A and K. I've used it, and when you use that kind of clear, that real glossy clear on a 1/25th scale car, my opinion is it throws the car out of scale. If it's too shiny, it doesn't look right. I've used this Tamiya clear just about on all my models cars, and with a little bit of wet sanding and some polishing, it comes out great, folks. I don't have any problem with it. Also, going forward, that once I got this body onto the tub, it did not want to lay down because the tub did not want to sit down on the chassis. So it made the body rise up. So I had to do a lot of trimming and sanding and some clamps with super glue to get that tub to sit down on the chassis. That was the other problem I had with this kit, was that the tub didn't want to fit correctly onto the chassis. Like I said, with the little adjustments here and there and trimming and sanding, I finally got it to sit down on there just right and got the body at where it needed to be. And moving forward that, I went ahead and I also said that I bought a photo etch kit by the name of the company was called KA Models, and it did have quite a bit for this kit. It came with brake rotors. These were grooved rotors, and they also had vented rotors. I used the vented rotors, and also, as you can see, there was a lot of things on here. Some things I didn't use because either it was a pain or didn't need it. So we could use that on the 2010 model. Some of those things will work. But anyway, the one thing that it did come with was the grill for the front mesh grill. That was nice. I don't know if you can really see that well, but that went in there nicely. But they did have a grill for the lower air dam. It didn't fit. It was twice the size, and I don't understand why it was too big, because it does say it was made for this kit, and it did not fit in there. So I had to use the one that came with the kit itself. And when you paint it black, you really can't tell anyway. But when you have the hood open, you could tell that the mesh grill is real mesh. And let's get the hood off here, and I'll show you the engine bay. Nothing really fancy about this engine bay is that just some Tamiya aluminum and semi-gloss black. And one thing that came with this kit was a nice decal sheet. It came with some the decals for the radiator overflow tank, instruction sheet for the fan shroud, and some other things on here. That was one thing that was nice on this sheet. The one thing I didn't like about this kit was that all this was molded into the plastic. The battery is not separate. That all had to be taped off and painted. The fuse box, the loom wire covers, that all had to be hand painted. That was the one thing I didn't like about this kit, was that this whole thing was molded into one piece, and you had to kind of like tape things off to get it painted the right color. Also, in the instruction sheet, it shows to use this air cleaner apparatus here. It does come in the kit with a K&N cold air induction system. It doesn't show it on the instruction sheet, but it does have it in the kit. Was going to use that, but I didn't have the right color red for the filter, so I went ahead with this, the OEM version of this. It was a little bit less hassle. Just went ahead and painted that semi-gloss black with like the rest of the stuff. And that's pretty much it for the engine bay itself. And like I said in my other video, was this this hood did not had quite a bit of gap in the engine bay area, so we had to put some styrene in there. It'll fit down on there. You just got to put a little pressure on it, but it does have some gap still in there, but not like what it had when I bought it. I had to add styrene to this to get it to fit. But all in all, that's pretty much it. As for the interior, I used the Tamiya. It's called Tire Black. It's almost like a blackish gray. It's not a pure black. And that's what we painted the whole interior with. Didn't really go anything fancy. The only thing I did was paint the shift knob orange to match the paint scheme. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's, you know, like I said, about 7 coats of clear on there, and wet sanding and polishing. And it's a very nice kit. It did come out nicely. And I don't know, guys. You tell me what you think. But hope that was some good information for you. And hope you guys are having a great week. And you comment and make some suggestions down below. And I appreciate you watching. You all have a good week and take care. Bye-bye.